A very good afternoon, everyone. Esteemed industry leaders, distinguished guests, respected faculty members, and my dear friends. On behalf of the entire SPJIMR family, I, Ananya,
And I, Shreyans.
welcome you all to Samavesh 2022. Samavesh is SPJIMR's annual Industry Academia Conclave. Organized by the students of Postgraduate Program in Management, this event is a platform where eminent thought leaders from industry and academia meet to discuss, contemplate, and share best practices on contemporary topics related to different business domains, such as operations and supply chain, finance, information management, marketing, and business analytics.
This is a platform where ideas and thought exchanges between we, the students of PGPM, with a cumulative experience of over 500 years, and the industry leaders with their expertise in the respective domains, help make us ponder about the whys, the whats, and the hows behind the ways the businesses are functioning. This is a platform where we learn from each other and set ourselves for the next big change that is going to happen in industry in the coming years. Before we begin, we request all of you to put your phones on a silent mode for the duration of the event. Thank you.
One of the top B schools of India, SP Jain Institute of Management Research is an integral part of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. Since its founding in 1981, SPJIMR has aimed to influence practice and promote value-based growth that is inclusive and sustainable. The institute views itself in a wider context as a beyond MBA institution where future leaders understand the relevance of business decisions on society. SPJIMR aims to provide a learner-centric pedagogy and a range of non-class learning experiences that create socially responsible, sensitive, cooperative, and reflective business leaders. As students of SPJIMR, we experience a synthesis of Western efficiency and Eastern ethos in how we are learning, living, and evolving during our MBA journey.
SPJIMR's PGPM is 1 year full-time residential management program aimed at accelerating the career of participants with over 5 years of work experience. PGPM is accredited by AICTE and by one of the most well-recognized international accreditation bodies like AMBA UK and AACSB US. The duration of program is 15 months, which includes 1 year full-time residential management program, preceded by 3 months of off-campus web-based learning. The USP of program is to enhance the functional and managerial capabilities of its participants. And this program has rigorous multi-stage admission process to select candidates with skill, experience, and temperament to take up the leadership roles. The program has state-of-the-art curriculum, instructors with rich industry experience and academy experience, a combination of classroom and experience-based learning. The peer-to-peer learning at PGPM is something that we students cherish a lot. Be it at the conversation at cafeterias or during the work assignments. Any conversation leaves you with some insights from the past experience of the candidate's industry and function. These interactions, along with PGPM's key features, help develop well-rounded professionals who are ready to take up leadership positions in multiple industries.
The PGPM class of 2022 has participants from diverse backgrounds, all of whom have a high degree of functional and domain expertise. This batch has 114 participants with an average age of 29 years and an average work experience of 6.5 years. We come from over 15 different industries and varied educational backgrounds. The inherent diversity brings rich opportunities for peer-to-peer learning that are crucial in the development of skills needed to work in cross-functional teams. This year, Samavesh has 4 conclaves: marketing, information management and business analytics, finance, and operations and supply chain. The topic for Marketing Conclave is the digital landscape and new challenges for sales. American entrepreneur and author Jim Rohn once said, "To succeed in sales, simply talk to lots of people." And here's the exciting part. There are lots of people. Thankfully, digital transformation has enabled businesses to meet evolving customer expectations to some extent. But the digital transformation of a sales force of actual people is still considered an oxymoron. Yes, we can provide sales reps with more software tools, but essentially they're still managing human-to-human interactions to communicate, educate, and sell products. To many, digital sales transformation is largely providing software tools to automate more traditional manual processes, including contact profiles, example LinkedIn, account-based marketing softwares, and content management, to name a few. So what exactly is digital sales transformation in today's context?
When we talk about digital sales transformation, we look forward to changes that technology has enabled in the conversion of customer leads into long-term business success. The easy availability of fast-speed internet, affordable smartphones have helped create a whole new generation of customers who are digitally native. And they are comfortable with searching information themselves and making a purchase decision with a click of a finger. We are also seeing a wider acceptance of self-service kiosks. Does this mean the jobs like retail sales rep will become thing of a past? If not, then what new skills these sales rep and the sales force need to acquire to add value to customers' purchasing decision?
In the B2C space, business organizations are focusing a lot on how to make customers' virtual buying experience more immersive. There are big questions on how organizations are going to provide consistent sales experience to their customers across various sales channels. While we see many use cases of B2C digital sales adoption, the B2B segment seems to be lagging behind. B2B companies have applied digital automation largely to internal processes rather than customer-facing ones. How B2B segment can help their customers with information search as in e-commerce website, how a consultative sales rep help in high touchpoint B2B sales, how B2B businesses can leverage technology to equip their sales force with tools that can help them to win big ticket orders. While organizations make these technology-driven adoptions, they will need to look at filling the gap at the people and the cultural level as well.
Technology has helped sales departments to have more data on their prospective customers. Today, sales reps are able to send real-time field data directly to their design team and at the back of the supply chain. This has helped businesses to quickly roll down the new products and services that are more valuable to their customers. With advanced customer analytics, businesses can now be laser focused on to target their market segment. While data analysis and data has its benefit, today we are also seeing growing concern over data privacy. A lot of regulations are coming up to help customers protect their privacy. And the laws governing the data privacy are getting stricter. This raises a question on how sales departments are going to find the right balance between customer privacy needs, government regulation, and the challenge of growing the organization's top line.
The Marketing Conclave at Samavesh 2022 aims to address some of these questions. We look forward to some very enriching discussions between industry leaders who are currently grappling with challenges and opportunities that digitization has brought for sales in their organizations.
As a part of Marketing Conclave, our classmates Sivesh Dikshit and Anand have put together a presentation on digital landscape and challenges in sales and how digital technologies can pave a way for success in this VUCA world. Shivesh has a prior work experience of 5 years in sales and marketing consulting at ZZ Associates. He has worked on Salesforce effectiveness and has designed data-backed marketing strategies for leading brands. While Aman has a prior work experience of 8 years in retail sales and ERP at Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited. He has expertise in channel sales and business development, and he has also worked as a functional consultant to leading brands. We now invite them to present to the audience.
Thank you, Shrey and Ananya. Good afternoon, everyone, esteemed leaders, dear faculty members, and students of PGPM, as well as other participants. Today, I, Shivesh, and Aman are here to talk about how digital is changing the way sales is being done and what are the imminent challenges for the firms to successfully traverse in the new normal world. The pandemic was not just an exercise in fast-tracking technological deployments. It was also a test of companies' ability to get employees and customers embrace new modes of engagement. It forced the companies, big and small alike, to transform their businesses and identify opportunities amongst the digital landscape. One such example is what we can see here. This was a car experience designed by Audi, where the consumer can actually check and see the colors of the car, the color of the car, they can see the rims of the car as well as design the interior of the car right from the safety of their homes. Why this shift has happened? Why a company like Audi has moved to such a diverse change? This shift in customer engagement is just one of the many shifts that has happened in the current world. We have divided today's topic in 4 broad categories and the challenges associated with them. Customer centricity, how customers' expectations are evolving with time. Channel diversification, how new channels are evolving with new tech every day. Data democratization, how data can be used at different levels of organization to enable organization to succeed in new normal. And finally, sustainability and purpose, how sales can define and derive the value for organizations from here. In customer centricity, one of the key themes that has been emerging is engagement to experience shift. Pandemic has revolutionized sales strategy for all the evolving digital customers and organizations alike. Consumers of today value engagement with the brands as much as the product utility. They value the connection with the product with the same impact and effect as much as they are going to use that product. AR and VR experiences with metaverse spiking in recent times can lead these changes for the consumers and organizations. These experiences have the impact to attract new customers to the platform, retain the existing customers, and limiting the churn, thus overall adding value to the organization. Classic example of AR is IKEA's Place app, where IKEA explored the vast world of virtual reality and augmented reality to define and derive the value for customers from the comfort of their home. It gave the opportunity for consumers to try before buy in a difficult category like home decor and furniture. It also aimed at bridging the omni-channel gap for IKEA. Not only organizations, data suggests that the consumers are also liking this shift from engagement to experience. There has been a calculated 5-20% rise in intent to purchase a new product whenever an AR experience is attached to it. Other trend that we have been observing is evolving virtual sales strategy mainly for B2B brands. COVID pandemic pushed the businesses to devise new virtual sales strategy, and the organizations as well as the customers have been benefiting from this shift. It made the interactions cost effective, faster, with frequent touch points between them. One of the example how COVID-19 pandemic affected the communication strategy of different sales firms was when the entire physician world was off limit from the marketing sales reps. The medical reps had limited access to the sales, to the medical professionals, and what they did, they shifted to the online mode. Interestingly, the data point shows that this shift is not only affected the businesses, but is preferred mode of communication for HCPs in the post-pandemic world. Thus, while virtual interaction was a necessity during the pandemic, it has become a key business differentiator in the new normal world. Move to hyper-customization has been talked about and has steadily but slowly affecting the way consumers are interacting with brands. It is the most advanced way consumers can interact with the brands, and it is actually done by creating custom communication plans using technologies like AI, ML, advanced analytics, with all backed with automation sources. Hyper customization leads to hyper personalization, and companies can send highly contextualized email communications to specific consumers at the right time, at the right place, and at the right channel. As per marketing studies, the hyper customization has not only increased customer satisfaction, but has also driven brand loyalty and willingness to pay for the consumers. For example, Prime Video collects the data from the usage of its platform and then curate that communication for the users and send it via email. One of the key aspects that we as future managers and the organizations of tomorrow have to keep in mind is the success of these communications depend entirely on how these touch points are embedded throughout the consumer journey. It is not at the starting, it is not at the middle or towards the end of the consumer journey, but all these touch points are throughout the consumer journey and help the consumer to interact with brands frequently without moving out to different brands.
Do you know that over 60% of the consumers say that they expect the company's response in the real time? And over 70% of the consumers expect that the customer care representatives should know about their issues and the order history beforehand. Companies nowadays provide multi-channel support across all the channels from where the customers are approaching them, like mobile, web, email, physical stores, and even social media platforms. But the main disadvantage in the multi-channel service is that the context and the customer history are not shared uniformly across all the channels. And that is why the omni-channel customer service strategy is required to have a uniform and frictionless customer experience across all the touchpoints. In one of the consumer surveys, it was even found that 9 out of 10 consumers prefer an omni-channel experience. In this highly competitive market, purchasing decisions are often motivated by the emotions of the consumers, and companies need to leverage this opportunity and respond appropriately to this change by reinventing their traditional channels and bringing a shift towards the digital that can awaken enthusiasm in customers as well as create an immersive and convenient environment for the customers. This will also add an emotional edge to the brand. Maybe this can become one of the key differentiators in the tomorrow's world. Some of such technical innovations are the voice and image-enabled search, which have a great potential to change the habit of the customers and even consequently influence the customer's purchasing decision. For example, image-enabled search is gaining quite a momentum in fashion e-commerce business like Myntra, which allows its customer to find the dress they like just by clicking an image of a person wearing the same dress and searching through that image on the Myntra. Gaming is another such booming area which offers a new form of augmented social media platform with in-game ads, product placement, and other immersive features that increases the brand recall and push the customers towards making a purchase. Apart from using these universal digital techniques, businesses are not stepping back from innovating and finding new ways on their own to connect with the new customers. For example, Yili is a Chinese dairy brand which started a new channel by creating a vending machine leveraged with IoT technology. This machine has the capability to measure the consumer's health parameters and then recommend a perfect mixed drink for its consumers. And with the growing customer indulgence on digital platforms, businesses have to ensure their presence on all relevant touch points and automate the business processes by embedding robotic process automations, commonly known as RPA, and the chatbot in its operations and services for quick and proactive customer services. For example, Frazo, a leading vegetable and fruits e-commerce startup, it has an excellent robotic process automation integrated with the chatbot service. As you all know that vegetable and fruits, there are a lot of complaints because these are perishable items. In Frazo, a consumer can just click the photograph of the spoiled vegetables and fruits and then upload it to the chatbot. The chatbot analyzes and reimburses the amount to the original payment source for the customer in seconds. This all is possible without the need of customer waiting to connect to a customer care representative, explain the issue in detail, and leaving it to manual judgment of the customer care representative for the final decision and to provide the solution. These things seem very little at the first hand, but the kind of shift they are bringing in the experience of the customer, these are surely to become the order qualifier in the coming days.
Data is definitely one of the most important assets for the company. But deriving value from it has been always in the purview of leadership and senior management. Accessing data for the lower and mid management, and especially for the consumer facing roles like Salesforce, can actually make a difference in sales organizations as well as complete companies' strategy. Democratizing data can be achieved by first generating a reliable data pipeline. Master data management teams are instrumental in collecting data, refining the data, and then posting it up for downstream consumption in various databases. Sales team, interestingly, can themselves be a source of real-time data, as they are directly the first person in touch with the consumers. After generating reliable data streams, enabling Salesforce to understand the data is of the prime importance to the organization. Almost 60% of sales leaders interviewed mentioned data complexity and business complexity as the biggest roadblocks for data literacy. Thus, designing simple and easy to consume solution is the way forward. And that will bring organization to leverage the entire power of data. Generating reliable data and making Salesforce data literate only wins half the battle. Sales operations have become increasingly strategic and important for company success. Sales operations can use their skill set to not only define but design the sales strategy for the firm. The general sentiment is that this is not a temporary shift but a more permanent one. And finally, the data privacy. As Shreya and Ananya rightly mentioned, data privacy is one of the key concerns for organizations and customers alike. With increasing dialogues on data privacy and regulations like GDPR being replicated across the world, it has become a key challenge for the organization. A long-term, trust-based relationship between consumers and organization can actually help organization to traverse this path. Enterprises need to define the rights of who is using the data and where the data is flowing with right and standard governance practices in place. Overall, a well-designed data strategy is key to organizations' differentiation and implementation strategies overall.
The last and the least focus area, yet the most important one, is sustainability with purpose. Do you know that Infosys maintains a digital dashboard for monitoring their data centers' energy consumption and carbon footprint across each of their building systems? It helps them to track their Infosys 2030 ESG goals. This has enabled them to rationalize their resources and to save on their energy expenses. This dashboard is also shared with the employees for the improved transparency in companies' ESG initiatives. And not only this, it also improves the stakeholder perceptions and the support for the business. Now we all know that customers prefer sustainable products, but the biggest question is whether they are ready to pay a premium for the sustainability factor added by the business. Sustainable products and services definitely add cost for the business, and thus there is always a cost-price conflict. And when they try to include the sustainability factor in products, for example, sustainable air fuels are about twice as expensive as the normal air fuel. But if an airline company chooses to use the sustainable air fuels, will they be able to sustain? They won't be able to achieve cost leadership as they cannot pass the additional premium to the customers in this competitive scenario. So one of the key ways in which digital technologies can help in limiting the carbon footprint is by having a leaner on-ground Salesforce team. Advanced CRM systems like Salesforce and Viva are being used on a large scale in a variety of industries ranging from pharma to FMCG. These CRMs are backed up with automated analytic engines which help to increase the efficiency of the business resources. Although CRM systems have a full basket of benefits for the business as a whole, but in the context of the current discussion, it helps the salesperson in getting better prospects, insights, which allows them to cover a larger geographical area. Hence, contributing not only to organizational sustainability goals, but also to nation sustainability goals. From the kind of investments and industry commentary that we are hearing about digitalization, it is surely not a fad, but here to stay in the new normal. By carefully analyzing and following the 4 broad pillars that we have discussed here, that is, the first one being adapting to the growing customer expectations in this new digital world, the second one being leveraging digital innovations for renovating the traditional channels and improving the purchasing experience. The third one being the leveraging data and understanding its risk. Why to use the data, what to use in the data, where to use, how to use, and for whom to use. And the final one being following sustainability with a purpose of finding value and communicating the same to the stakeholders. Sales and marketing verticals across the firms can take a lead in this transformation and add value for its customers, for its employees, and for its shareholders, eventually making businesses future-proof in this digitally growing market. Thank you for being a wonderful audience.